Hey, good morning, everyone. I see some more people joining in. Thank you for joining me for Friday Morning Fuel. My name's Daniela, and this morning we're going to be making some overnight oats. The past couple of weeks we've made smoothies in the mornings, but today we're going to try something a little bit different, and we are going to make overnight oats. Okay, so this is very simple, quick and easy recipe that you can make for breakfast on the go. I know that not a lot of you are rushing out the door right now to get to work, but now is a really good time to start building and improving your nutrition and fueling habits for the future, for when you do go back to work. And I know some of you might think, well, Daniela, I don't really like to have breakfast in the morning. I don't have time for breakfast. It is really important that you fuel first thing in the morning. One, it's going to just set the intention for the day. It's going to help you boost your mood, help you be in a better mood throughout the day. And then it'll also just help increase your energy and sustain your energy that you need for those early morning meetings or early morning activities as well. All right, so let's get started. We're going to make our overnight oats. Share a couple of ingredients that we have here. So here I have our oats, our dried rolled oats. This is the gluten-free kind from Trader Joe's. I'm just gluten-free, but you don't have to get the gluten-free kind. We also have choice of milk. Mine is coconut milk. As you can see, I'm almost out, so I actually need to make some more. And then the recipe, so for those of you on our Skype meeting, the recipe is attached to the meeting invite. It calls for Greek yogurt. I'm lactose intolerant, so I have coconut yogurt, but that Greek yogurt is going to also be a good source of protein for you. But if you get a non-dairy alternative to yogurt, you can also add something like collagen powder or protein powder to help increase that build part of your protein, the build part of your meal, which is your protein. And then we've got a little bit of maple syrup for a little added sweetness, some vanilla extract, and then you can add chia seeds or hemp seeds. I have hemp seeds this morning, and then we'll discuss maybe some toppings that we can add on top of your oats. All right, so here are oats. We're going to pour them into our mixing bowl. So we have half a cup of oats. And then we're going to add 2/3 cup of milk of choice. So like I mentioned, I have coconut milk. And then I'm going to add in my coconut yogurt. Again, the recipe calls for Greek yogurt, but you know, it's like any recipe we make, just make it your own. You know, get creative with the ingredients that you have. And we are going to add in a teaspoon of hemp seeds. So you're really just kind of throwing everything in a bowl and mixing it up. I'm going to go ahead and add in a scoop of my collagen. So again, this is optional. If you have that Greek yogurt, it's got plenty of protein in it, but if you have a non-dairy alternative that may be lacking in protein, then I do encourage you to add in something like collagen powder or your favorite protein powder. All right, going to add in just a tablespoon of maple syrup, and you can do maple syrup or honey, but just keep it to 1 tablespoon. We don't want that the sugar grams to be too high in our breakfast. And then I will add in a tablespoon of vanilla. All right, so all our ingredients are in our bowl. You can all see that, right? So I'm just going to take a spoon, mix it all up. So once you've kind of gotten a consistent texture throughout your bowl, then you're going to store it in a closed lid container, and you'll store it overnight, okay? I know we're making this in the morning for the next morning, but if you can also make this for just a couple mornings ahead of time, so for 2 or 3 mornings, and then you have a couple of breakfast options ready to go in the mornings. If you don't if you're kind of just making it for fun, you can also just store it for up to 4 hours and it'll be ready to go. And that just gives time for the oats to really soak in everything and all the flavors to mix together. So, alright, this is all mixed up. So what I would do now is pour it into a container with a lid and put it in the fridge. But since this is a real cooking show, we magically have some already made that mason jar from each week that slides in. So I made this last night. I'm going to actually pour it into this bowl that I will have for breakfast this morning. Alright, so here are my overnight oats from last night. And if you find that maybe it's a little too watery, you can adjust the amount of liquid that you put in there. So for my toppings, I've got just some cut up banana. So I cut up half a banana. I'm just going to add that on top. And then going to add a little bit of almond butter for that kind of protective part of our meal. Getting some good fats, those omega-3 fatty acids. Grab a spoon here. So add that to my bowl. Rinse my hand here, I've got almond butter on it. Alright, so then I'm going to top that off with a little bit of cinnamon. As I mentioned before, cinnamon is going to have a lot of anti-inflammatory properties and it just adds some good flavor for your breakfast. And then, because it's Friday, I like to have a little more fun with my breakfast. I'm going to add a little bit of cacao nibs, which are those, the cacao bean just crushed up, which is the raw ingredient for chocolate. So it has a little bit of a bitter taste, but a lot of good antioxidants in there as well. So there is my overnight oats recipe. It's pretty simple, right? Don't forget that any of these recipes you can kind of mix and make your own. It's really important that you just make your nutrition, your meals all about you. Okay, so for this weekend, I want you to start thinking about, how do you make your nutrition about you? Do you know yourself well enough to think about the foods that you need, the foods that fuel your goals, and the ones that help support your health goals as well, right? So really start thinking about, how do I make nutrition all about me, for me and my body's needs. Alright, so I want you to start thinking about that this weekend and start getting a little creative with your meals and your breakfast. Breakfast is a really great place to start. We've gone over some smoothie recipes, some oatmeal recipes here, so I hope that gives you a good starting place to start thinking about making your nutrition fun and all about you. Alright, thanks for joining me this week. I'm going to try some oatmeal. And I'll catch you next week at 9 a.m.